Just as a reminder, there is a Lotus Festival on Friday in Echo Park. For the people that just came in from 6 to 9, that's sponsored by Palms Up Academy and Sunday Jump and like 400 other Filipino organizations. So it's 6 to 9 o'clock, but it's Echo Park, so find parking. Ashley Lanuza will be there. So yeah, and Chai, Lady B, and other people. Yeah, this is some new-ish. Can y'all say new-ish? New-ish! Never read this anywhere, so hopefully this goes well. Send me all your good vibes. I put this in a contest. When I say kids of, can y'all say immigrants? Kids of? Immigrants! Kids of? Immigrants! As the youngest son in my family's sky, my parents placed a lot of faith in me, relaying sage advice stemming from countless generations past and passed all the way across the Philippine Sea. Stay on track. Keep the curvature of your letter grades perfectly peaked and straight. Stay apace with the quickest minds in the room. Avoid fraternizing with fools or fooling around at all, for that matter. Don't you want to be the best? To be seen on the same level as someone with lighter skin doing the bare minimum? Excellence is merely your entry. But this was quite the burden for my 14-year-old brain to bear, where my biggest concern was discerning which lunch clique was the coolest to sit with and whether or not Sammy Gildersleeve liked me. Liked me. So when my folks perpetually told me to stay on track, I did. The only way a scrappy Pinoy boy like me knew how, by throwing on some shorts, lacing up my shoes, and soaring myself out into the asphalt. But to know running was to know pain, as a 15-minute warm-up turned full-blown inferno on my insides, had me wheezing amidst the smoke. I did not expect this trial by fire in my lungs. My circle of hell, a literal one. The 400-meter dash, a seemingly swift lap around the track that, in reality, was a non-stop sprint pushing as hard and as far as my body would allow. I was all bluster and no bearing. A storm of heaves and sighs, kneecaps clapping in uncontrolled ovation. I cursed the whistle, cursed the clouds, cursed my fragile constitution, cursed the perspiration pooling in places I never even knew it could, and I cursed myself for my own consent, wondering, why do people do this? What is to be gained other than sweaty socks and screaming calves day after day after day? I did not find a reason to prolong this punishment until my own bones began to rumble, stopped me dead in my tracks, and asked if I wanted to run away from this challenge or use this challenge as my own runway. I remembered how stubbornness runs in my family and how I was but the latest step in a recovery program from my bloodline that I couldn't even begin to unpack, so instead I stayed on track. Instead of putting my foot in my mouth, I learned how to move it smoothly in conjunction with its brother. Learned how my skill as a runner was not solely determined by the speed of my feet, but a feat from my body as a whole. My body, a sweet song in motion, each part integral to the tune. From the pump of the arms to the angle of the hips, I discovered new crescendos I could reach when each section of flesh played on the same page. But most of all, I came to treasure the tranquility of being immersed in the moment once that race had begun, as the raucous cheer, labored breath, and flurried footsteps all melted from my mind, honed only to focus on the vessel of me when I'm flying down the lane, heart racing like a hell-bent lover, knees reaching for the heavens, soul successively kissing the red and white stained polyurethane, and I leave my excuses behind. This was my sanctuary. These days, the roar of the stands has all but faded, not so much from determination, but distance from the disciple I used to be. Though I still struggle to finish lines, it is in the privacy of my craft rather than on a battlefield of heart and grit, yet I give thanks to this practice for showing me the power of resolution, bestowing me something to believe in. I praise the whistle, praise the clouds, praise my unrelenting will, praise the poignant passion spilling from every art I aim to master, and I praise myself for choosing myself, even on days when it didn't seem like I was. This sport did often leave me feeling beat, but it always gave me a choice, to submit to my exhaustion or take it all in stride, showing me just how far I could go if I was willing to train, not let life derail me or my goals, and always stay on track. Yeah.